Well, I have the current Manx Bard with us. Sara's here in the studio, and we want to talk about your year of doing this. And I want to, bring it out because I mean it's years since it first came back in, and people have been doing it. But what is it all about? For people who've never understood all this, just explain, please, what the position is you hold.
Right. Well, it is. I should first say it's voluntary and unpaid, so that anybody looking doesn't think that their taxes are paying for me going jollying all around the place. But basically, the Manx Bard is a resurrection of what happened many years ago, and it's been going for some time. The modern bard has been going for some time, but it's a way of promoting the Isle of Man, all that's good about the Isle of Man, but doing it in a slightly different way and doing it largely through poetry. Fine.
Do you have to create poetry during your year?
Yes.
And special poetry? I mean, does it have to be on certain themes about the Isle of Man or anything?
It can be on anything.
Ah, you got one?
Paul Moulton directs MTV and wanted to interview me to talk about rhyme and the bardic pastime and why it was my cup of tea.
I didn't know that was going to happen, by the way. Fantastic.
Well, you did give me
Can I
less.
keep that?
Yes, you can. Of course, you can.
It's mine. Thank you. I'll get you to sign that.
You did give me less than 24 hours to write it,
I know.
so I can come up with something better than that normally.
I've only just found out it's the end of your year, and basically the whole position gets put over to. Can we say who's got it next time? Is it out
We
there?
don't know.
Oh, I see.
What happens is that the application has now, well, the time for applying is now finished. It closed on Saturday. The Bardic Committee will interview a shortlist of prospective new bards,
right.
And then on Sunday all the prospective new bards, all the shortlist, plus a lot of other people by invitation, the great and the good of the island, the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker of the House of Keys, the President of Tynwald, a lot of people will be there, and you genuinely don't know until your name comes out of the envelope.
But they have a short list that you go through a sort of interview process.
Yes, you're interviewed by the.
How did you feel when you got it last year then?
If you actually look at photographs of me, I look as if I've been hit with a spade.
Oh, right. Well, we've got one picture of you in your regalia. It looks beautiful. Is that? I mean, that gives you that certain feel, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Everybody likes the robes.
Yes.
Everybody likes the robes. They do only have one set of robes, so it gets passed on to the next Manx Bard.
Right.
So if we appear together, we either have to appear in mufti or we have to sort of sneak off somewhere and hand the robes over. That's never happened to me, but we do it. The bards do appear together, but we usually appear in mufti because, as I say, there's only one set of robes. But the robes were designed and made on the island by a lady called Linda Davis. She'd never actually made anything like that before, and she's made a stunning job.
They're great.
They are absolutely amazing.
Now, do you want to get more people involved in poetry? Is this part of it to bring culture to the? It sounds awful, to the masses.
To the masses. I wouldn't dream of saying that.
No, but you know what I mean.
Part of the thing is that, and one of the things I've been very keen to do during my bardic year, and each bard does slightly different things, it's very much what you make it, but one of the things I've been keen to do is to try and get people who wouldn't normally be interested in poetry to be interested. They might not genuinely be interested, but if you're remembering back to learning rhymes at school, then it's not necessarily like that. It doesn't have to be boring. In fact, I say to people, it's only boring if you're boring, because it's about life. Poetry is about life, and it's not boring.
And it doesn't have to rhyme anymore. I mean, it used to be. Well, you like it rhyming, I'm sure.
I like it rhyming.
And I think I agree with you. But some people don't, and they call it poetry, and it's
well, what's nice is the first bard was T. Brown. He was awarded first bard because he's such an eminent Manx poet. But the first living bard was Stacey Astill. Now, Stacey writes free verse. I struggle to appreciate free verse simply because I like it to write. I feel safer with rhyme and metre and whatever. But Stacey's poetry is amazing. And there's one of her poems on the window of Noble's library. So, she writes different style to me. Then the third Manx Bard was John Dog Collister, and I think John Dog's poems are great because a lot of them are funny.
Yes.
And it's just great. So we're all different. We all do different things. So I'm quite looking forward to finding out what the next Bard will be like, because they'll be different again.
So you recommend it as an idea if you have obviously the time as well and the inclination to do it. You recommend it? You had a good time? I
had a good time. Yes. There were certain things that there was more appearing, more performing than I expected, and actually less writing of poetry. I expected it to be more writing of poetry and not very much in the way of appearing.
Turning up at events.
Yes, right. But there was more appearing. But yeah, it's been great.
Well, if you're not invited on the Sunday to the actual thing, I'm sure you'll hear the news on Monday who's got the job.
Hope so, yes.
You hand the robes over.
Yes. Well, what happens is that the bard is formally robed by the committee. I mean, I don't sort of say, oh, by the way, here they are. It's done very formally, but it is a. It's an amazing occasion. The actual inauguration is an amazing occasion, but I do feel very pleased for the new bard, but also slightly sorry for them, because it's such a shock, or at least it was for me, it's such a shock that you can't really enjoy it properly until afterwards. You know, you think, gosh, I really am Manx Bard, but at the time it was all passing with a bit of a blur.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Keep on writing. Just get to sign this. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.